when 5 faculty members from our university came here and taught transcendental meditation to thousands of people in different institutes and in the public. And so I was always fascinated by Armenia since that time. I'm going to speak about consciousness-based education. Our university in America is the first consciousness-based education institution in the world, founded in 1971. And there is great interest, I think, here in the scientific research on consciousness-based education, which is now in 53 different countries around the world. And I will be explaining to the educators I speak to the results which have been published in the scientific journals, and also some of the government actions to adopt this program. For example, to support this program in Great Britain, for example, in Ecuador, in Mexico, and other countries have begun to take up this program as a way of maximizing the brain development of the students so that they have maximum creative intelligence and success in their lives.
Yeah. Do you have any statistics which help students to develop their brain by grades? Can you tell any statistics which help them during maybe 10 years or 5 years? Yeah?
Yes. The scientific research has shown the following things. First of all, during the 20 minutes morning and evening when you practice transcendental meditation, younger students 10 minutes morning and evening, but mostly 20 minutes morning and evening. You're sitting with your eyes closed very comfortably, and what is found is the mind starts to settle down and become more and more restful and peaceful till you reach a state of very deep silence in the mind. And you could say consciousness in its pure state, pure consciousness. With that, the body also changes dramatically. And for example, you feel as if you're resting, settling very deeply into the chair. The breathing becomes very soft, the muscles relax. And now coming to the measurements. In that state, there is a deeper level of rest than even in the deepest part of sleep, lowest metabolic rate. The skin resistance becomes very high, which is indicating more relaxation. There is also a drop of cortisol in the blood, which is stress chemical, so stress goes down. And then also the brain waves change. And particularly in the alpha wave range, there is a great coherence of brain waves, meaning that different parts of the brain are functioning together in a harmonious way. And one of the studies, famous studies on this, was done actually in Moscow at the Brain Research Institute of the Academy of Medical Sciences by Professor Nikolai Nikolaevich Lyubimov. And he showed that when people are practicing transcendental meditation, their brain reacts in a different way than normally, indicating that the whole brain is being activated and it's functioning more quickly. And he interpreted that as mobilizing the hidden reserves of the brain potential. And another thing that we have done to measure this at our university, we offer a brain integration report card. Just like you get a report card for mathematics and physics and other subjects. So at our university, you can also, through the EEG, the electroencephalography, you can see how your brain is improving in its functioning over the years of your study due to the practice of the transcendental meditation technique. And brain integration is an indication, again, that the whole brain is functioning and functioning more efficiently than before. And people who are world-class athletes and also top managers tend to have more brain integration than people generally. And now there is this system of education and the technique to develop that brain integration systematically so that people who've been practicing the technique for some considerable period of time, twice a day that means 20 minutes, they have much higher brain integration even than top-level athletes or managers. There are over 600 studies on this. That if you like to go to the website of our university, there's a link there for the scientific research, which has been published in over 100 different scientific journals by now. And more than 600 studies have been done. The first studies were done at the University of California at Los Angeles in 1969, which showed those things that I just mentioned about the body and the way the body is functioning differently during this period of 20 minutes than at any other time. It's a fourth major state of consciousness. But some of the very significant results, increased creativity is a very strong result over and over again. And improvement in holistic intellectual performance, meaning in not only creativity but in fluid intelligence and all the different qualities that are needed for academic success, but also for success in life. Another very important thing is anxiety. There was a study at Stanford University that indicated that looking at all scientific research on methods to reduce anxiety, that transcendental meditation produced the most powerful and significant effect on reducing anxiety. So reducing anxiety, increasing calmness is a very prominent other scientific result. In healthcare also, they've been following individuals who practice this technique for their healthcare usage. And they found already in the 1980s that using the public healthcare statistics, they find that practitioners of TM hospitalized about half as much as the general population. And now, over the last 20 years, our university has received some $20 million of research, $25 million of research funding from the National Institutes of Health of the United States, particularly for research in transcendental meditation, TM, on reducing high blood pressure and heart attack, heart disease. And this has resulted, last November there was an article, the most recent of this research, came out in the journal Circulation of the American Heart Association. And it followed a group of people with heart disease for 9 years. And half the group learned TM, half the group did health education. And they found the TM group had 48% less death, heart attack, and stroke than the group that only had health education. And now the American Heart Association has come out with a statement that reviewing all the scientific literature on methods of reducing stress and tension and therefore reducing high blood pressure. The only thing that in the scientific record that has been shown to reduce high blood pressure and reduce heart attack is transcendental meditation. And so they are now recommending to American medical doctors to consider including TM in clinical practice for the people who either have heart disease or who are in danger of having heart disease. I haven't had any meeting in the Ministry of Education. We have local teachers though here. I'm just visiting, but we have expert teachers of transcendental meditation already here in Armenia. So perhaps they...
I am a teacher at the university myself.
Yes, but did you meet in the Ministry of Education?
Beva, yeah.
You have met in the Ministry of Education?
Yeah, we have.
So I would very much like to meet...
Dr. Ashley Deans met him.
Okay.
Is there any programs, I mean, which can be state programs, cooperation?
Yeah, this program can be introduced in any educational institution, including schools. Like, for example, the British government has introduced a program of making the Maharishi school, it's a school like our school in America, a free school, meaning that the government pays for the tuition. It's a private school, but the government pays the tuition and everything for the students because they get very high marks, top 2.5% of the marks in the public examinations in Great Britain. Even though they are not specially selected to be the best students, they still come on the top. And also that they don't find that there's any bullying. That's when a child is cruel, is mean to another child. It just doesn't exist in that school. So now there is a consideration that the British government may support another such school in London next year. So it can be introduced at the school level very easily. Any school in Armenia could introduce it and find great improvements both in academics and behavior. And universities also can introduce in the same easy way. It's to learn is only 7 steps of learning over a week, about 2 hours a day, and then a follow-up program of about 4 months to make sure that one is doing it correctly. So yes, it can be introduced here definitely. And she said she's a professor here in the university, so she is a teacher of Transcendental Meditation also.
How long are you going to stay here, and about the future plans for the next days, from now?
Yes, I'm staying here till Tuesday, and today later meeting a representative of one of the major universities and also speaking to a group of educators today. That's the plan today. I guess that I have come at the time when all the holidays are going on, so it was the only time I could actually come at the moment, but that's what I'll be doing and other meetings in the coming days.
Do you want to tell anything about which I didn't ask any question?
Well, I would welcome everyone to look at the website of Monash University of Management. It's www.mum.edu, and there you'll find the whole story in detail that I have only spoken about briefly. But there is another whole area that I haven't spoken about so far, that is that in many cases when groups of practitioners of these techniques gather together, including the advanced program, which is called the TM Siddhi program, including yogic flying, it creates an environmental effect. Namely that there's more peace and harmony, crime goes down, other negativity goes down. An example of this on a big scale was President Chissano of Mozambique. He had introduced this program to 18,000 soldiers in his army. 3,000 learned the advanced program. And this was to bring an end to the civil war of Mozambique in the early 90s. And it worked. And now also the prosperity is increasing extremely rapidly. Mozambique was a very, very poor country at that time. So President Chissano was one example of doing that. The leader of the political party in Cambodia did the same thing and created a group of students to bring an end to the civil war with the Khmer Rouge. And that worked, and King Sihanouk was very grateful for that. And now in Latin America there is a massive introduction of this program throughout Latin America. The province of Oaxaca in southern Mexico, they have made the consciousness-based education institutional. More than 8,000 of their students already practice together, and more will be practicing as more teachers become available. And that includes the advanced program for the peace. This is an area where the Mayan people live, indigenous people, very much. In Ecuador, the government has introduced in the military training, police and military training, and now they are going to, the president has asked to introduce it in the Navy and the Air Force and the Central Bureau of Intelligence. So there are already 10,000 practicing, more than 10,000, and now there will be actually 120,000 more. In Colombia, where the president practices transcendental meditation, there's a Catholic priest there who is building a school for homeless children who practice these technologies of consciousness, transcendental meditation, the TM City program, and the yogurt flying, to create harmonious influence in the whole of Colombia so that 50 years of civil war can come to an end. In Brazil, the president of Brazil also practices transcendental meditation, Dilma Rousseff, and Brazil is following the British example. They are looking deeply into consciousness-based education. They're doing research on it in Brazil, and they're making it possible for schools to hire teachers of transcendental meditation for the children if their schools desire. So like that throughout all of Latin America is a tremendous result happening now. And so it's a very powerful program for students, for any adult, but also for peace.